When it comes to integrating brands into games, it's hard to find a better example than Fortnite, right? They're just really good at working with brands, making deals, and then integrating those brands into the game in an engaging way that improves retention, keeps players, of course, engaged in playing the game, adds that feeling of scarcity. I'd better get in and play and get those skins before they're gone, right? So, what's going on? Why are they so good at this? What can we learn from this? Good question. Good questions. I had a conversation with the Yoda One Brands and Games team about this. They're experts on this topic. And so we talked about a lot of things, the current landscape, where things are headed. We then got into Fortnite and how Epic Games is able to do this in a way that takes full advantage of their relationships with brands and takes full advantage of the IPs that they have access to make the game, Fortnite, more fun, more interesting, more engaging. We talked about specifically Dragon Ball Z and that collaboration, which is a really interesting discussion, a lot of insights there. So let's just go ahead and roll it. Please enjoy the conversation, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the Yoda One team anytime.
This suddenly became a motivational speech.
Yes.
I
Motivational
just about had a tear just now.
I'm gonna go out there and
Every time I play Fortnite, there's something crazy happening, right? And it always makes me go back and play more. Whenever I hear, wait a second, there's a Kamuamua fireball? What? That makes me go back. So I'm hoping we can get into how Epic and Fortnite, how they approach this.
What we're seeing in the past year doing IP collaborations, thanks to Fortnite and the amount of collaborations they've done in very diverse areas, is making these sort of collaborations much more mainstream, or at least easier for people to understand what these sort of collaborations are, and they are more present in how they know they can live up the game. It's one of the examples we tend to use, and people are very familiar with what they've done because it's always very popular and everywhere online, whether it's Dragon Ball or Ralph Lauren or Dune or any other show. Yeah. So they are definitely leading the way on that, and it seems like they are continuing to do so. It's something we can try to replicate, and it's an inspiration in a way. And on the other hand, some studios that we talk to, that they feel like working with IPs is something for the really big guys only, like the Fortnite type of studios. And we're also trying to, obviously, working with licensors and with this size of IPs is not for everyone, but it's affordable and among the possibilities for a lot of tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 studios, right, that have been around for a while, that are making good money. So we see, on one hand, it's an inspiration. On the other, a lot of people think it's outside their range of possibilities because it's just for the really, really huge titles in the industry. But I think in general, it's definitely positive. And it's inspiring, and it's also getting licensors to understand how they can cooperate with games and how many different type of brands can cooperate with games. So the balance, my personal perspective, is that definitely positive.
The secret sauce is they have a good licensing team who are able to work with multiple IP holders, and also they have a team that are able to work quickly in integrating these different IPs into the game. So, for example, the Infinity War, that integration took place whilst the new movie was coming out.
Right.
That brings more attention to it. So that's one of the things that they have done, which other brands were not doing before. They weren't syncing up in terms of marketing at the same time as another piece of content related to the IP was coming out. And that's one of the things, us in the team are all looking at all the time. When is it a sync up for new content releases to bring wider exposure? So that's why one of the things I believe is their secret sauce. But they're very creative as well with the integrations they're doing.
For me, the key sauce of Fortnite is how well they know their audience. Like Fortnite, it has a 70% are from 18 to 24 years old. So they're used to fast content, even on social media, even in everything. They used to getting fast content. That's why they're doing this amount of integrations, being more flexible. They used to play a lot with their friends on Discord, being most of the time off online rather than offline. And this is what it makes it so strong, right? This is why they're doing not only integrations that is just buying some skins, but they also do concerts. They also do events where they can interact with each other, where they can watch trailers. So this is the key element for me, is how well they know their audience and how they want the content. So when it comes to make this type of collaborations, it's a bit it's a bit difficult to explain because it's all over the place. When you see a new chapter coming from Fortnite, right, and all the seasons, you already can see all the elements that Fortnite is going to integrate that chapter and that season. So it keeps engaged and active the player because they never know when it's gonna come out, but they know that they're cooking something, right? Something it's on the works, and they can see a small hints that keep them engaged to the game. And also when it comes to announcement, Fortnite is quite fast to do it. They're not gonna say like, okay, in 1 or 2 months we're gonna do this. They're gonna do it.
Yeah,
Okay,
that was
tomorrow,
a good snap. That was a Thanos level snap. Yeah.
like tomorrow we're gonna, for example, for
You
the
just
Dragon
wiped
Ball
out half of a planet somewhere. Who knows where?
for the Dragon Ball event number 2 was like, okay, tomorrow we're releasing the second event, right? And it was like that. Many times it's like, okay, it's gonna be this week, it's gonna be tomorrow, but they're already hiding some hints. Also, when they did for the Mr. Beast event in the trailer, you could find Mr. Beast somewhere in the trailer, and people were like, okay, what's gonna happen here? So that's the key. They're throwing so much content without a real context for that, right? That players want to know more and want to stay in the game. Doesn't mean that the integration has to be super deep, putting a storyline on something, but it means that something is gonna come, and some players may like it, some others not. But they know that if they don't like this event or they don't like this integration, in a few days or in a few weeks might come up something else that they're gonna love, right?
To add to that, I would just say that that's maybe why they are trying with so many different genres and type of brands. As we said, from fashion to influencers to anime to Hollywood, Marvel shows, they are kind of making integrations that would appeal to a lot of different people based on what you like. So maybe it's more about quantity rather than quality. Obviously, it's high quality design, but not necessarily the deepest integration when it comes to mixing up with the gameplay. So more about quality, so everyone finds what they like. I think what Isma mentioned is a great point.
Yeah, there was this meme, right? That you can see in Fortnite right after the integration with Dragon Ball. It was like, what is this game? You could see Rick from Rick and Morty, and Goku using a sable from Star Wars, and it was like kind of a mess, but it's fun at the same time.
You know, how are they? Yeah, I saw a lighting change there, Marina. So, did you do that with your mind? Okay, well, let's get into a specific example. Let's talk about Dragon Ball Z. I don't know who wants to take it first. Maybe Phil.
No, I'll let Isma go.
Dragon Ball brings this nostalgia, right? It's not only about the new ones. Dragon Ball, everyone that is from 20 something till 30 long, 40, they've been raised with Dragon Ball. So it's this kind of nostalgia, and also that they're still going on with movies, the manga's still going on, and it came Dragon Ball Super in 2015. So this event become even bigger. And why did they do that? Because it just collapsed and it just matched with the release of the new movie, which was the Android movie, right? So they did this collaboration to at the same time promote the movie. What you could do is not just get the characters, but you could also go to a type of a small cinema, right, where you could see the trailer of the movie with your friends and hype it up. Because right now in the US, dubbing is a big thing, and they're pretty good at dubbing anime. So for the movies and animes that are mainstream, they dub it quite quickly.
Dabbing? Like,
yeah,
like
no.
dabbing? I thought this was a dab.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, dubbing.
The
Okay, got it.
voiceover,
Sorry. I
dubbing?
thought we were talking about something else. Dubbing.
Dubbing.
This time was like just 4 months gap since the movie was released in Japan to the US. So they took advantage of the release in the US to promote it through Fortnite. What did they do? They add Virus, Bulma, Vegeta, and Goku in the first event. But in the movie, you could see the main characters were Gohan and Piccolo, right? So now the second part, you
If you
can
say
get Gohan.
so, Isma.
Yeah, 100%. It was the movie. So in the new event, in the second part, you can now get Gohan and Piccolo. But the point is that they already create the hype from the movie, before the movie, just to watch it, and after the movie to see, like, okay, where is Gohan and Piccolo, right? Because they've been the main characters, but they're not here in the event.
I see.
But now you can get them.
As I was growing up, it started to come on cable TV. That's where I first saw Dragon Ball in the late 90s. And then obviously we are where we are now, where you have Netflix and Amazon having these different animes, all dubbed, access to everybody globally. You have services like Crunchyroll or Funimation as well. So I think that's one of the big key elements, more access to anime and the culture of anime. As Ismail also said, that coincided with people playing games. So a lot of people who play games watch anime as well. But from the other point of angle, I also see it as because it's grown and become much, much bigger, you're seeing integrations and collaborations like Dragon Ball happening in games at the same time as they're doing integrations, collaborations with physical products. That is what I call successful, because you're using the leverage from one collaboration that's in the physical world to also do another one in the digital world and have people engage, as well as having content out there at the same time. So that's why I see Dragon Ball as being so successful, as well as building on the legacy from how popular it was from late 80s to early 90s and everything else.
I would just add one quick thing. It's cheaper to make animated shows, like anime shows, rather than shows with actors and actresses, right? Which is
Live
what we
action
have
shows, yeah, sure.
most in the West, exactly, live action. So it's cheaper as well for the platforms to produce them, for the production companies to make them. So in general, making animated shows is also cheaper than live action, and that's also something that they are taking into account, platforms and production companies, when making the shows.
How should I feel about all this as a game developer with a team wondering, this looks like a pretty good opportunity, smells like money or something, or a chance to grow players, or it's an exciting new landscape for a lot of developers. How do you think about this if you're a developer? How do you say, I'm not big enough because I'm not Epic Games? Do you say, thoughts?
Yeah, I think the studios who are not the size of Epic should be, don't be afraid. Don't think just because Epic, who's got so much revenue and money, they're the only ones that can do this thing. There are opportunities available to smaller or medium-sized studios out there. You have to remember, a lot of these IPs still want to reach audiences all over the world, and all over in different niches and categories. They want their IP to reach players who are older, players who are younger, and this gaming is one of the best ways to do that, especially, as I said before, to get these players to engage with those brands.
Yeah, regarding the point of how some studios might feel intimidated about how big Fortnite is, and maybe they're not in the same point. Fortnite is not a benchmark. Fortnite is an example to follow, and it's an inspiration. They don't have to take it as a benchmark, right? There's a startings. Even for, if you get into more specific for the anime, there are many brands that are currently hot, and it's in a different level than the big ones as Dragon Ball, One Piece, and Naruto, but still being mainstream, that you can play with that. As Marina said, it's not like it's a win-win deal. It's about to find the middle point. It's not about jumping from the first step to the number 10. It's going step by step, different integrations till you get to a point that you feel more comfortable and can do greater things.
For the developers, we can help to make the process easier and, as you said, less intimidating, because we have that experience of working with various IP holders, the anime ones, Hollywood ones, etc. And we have the experience of working on games, publishing games and developing games ourselves. So we understand both sides of the coin, so to speak.
We are working with most of these licensors on many deals right at the same time, and we keep a regular communication with them. So we know the people, we know the terms, we know how to work with them. So through working with Yoto One, you can access a lot of licensors, and the same thing for the IP holders. A lot of them, they do a lot of licensing, or they are always open to licensing opportunities, but they don't have the time to go and find game studios to do collaborations with, right? So they end up only being reactive to opportunities that come to them, but a lot of times they don't find each other as well.
Right.
So we have this huge network of game studios from a lot of different countries, and we know what sort of IPs they want. We know what's their budget, and then we know the licensors, what sort of games they're looking for, and how much they're asking for.
All right. Well, thank you all very much for your time. Thank you for
Thank
the
you.
rousing
Thank you.
speeches. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Luke.
If you guys want to learn more about, those listening or watching would like to learn more about Yoto One and how we can help you grow your games, then check us out at yoto1.com. Thank you so much, and see you in the next one.